Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another session for the 2025 CLIA Global Cruise Line webinar series. We're thrilled to be joining you today to unlock the world of luxury expeditions with PONANT Explorations. My name is Johanna de Guzman, and I'm the Manager of Industry Relations here at CLIA for North American Travel Trade Membership. Before we dive into today's presentation, I will quickly cover a few housekeeping items. Our presentation today will run for approximately 45 to 50 minutes. We encourage you to engage actively by submitting your questions through the webinar's questions module, and we will get to them at the conclusion of the presentation during the live Q&A session. For those who might miss today's live session or want to review the content later, this webinar is being recorded and will be available on CLIA's YouTube channel, CLIA Global. It is my pleasure to introduce your presenter, Nick Adolph. Born in Colorado and raised in a ski town, Nick's passion for hospitality, travel, and serving others started at a young age. With over 13 years of industry experience, Nick has served in various management positions at luxury resorts, expedition tour operators, and luxury wholesale entities, with efforts mostly focused on nurturing trade business with travel advisors. He joined PONANT Explorations by way of Ultimate Jet Vacations and Seagram Expeditions. He has a passion for small ship exploration and helping others to savor more of this adventurous world. Up next, he will be aboard on Le Commandant Charcot later this year and one day hopes to step foot on Antarctica, his #1 bucket list item. And with that, take it away, Nick.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much, Johanna. Greetings, CLIA members. Thank you for joining us today to learn a little bit more about PONANT Explorations and our wonderful adventures available to your discerning clients. My name is Nick Adolph. I am our Director of Business Development in the Northwest, but I am lucky to call many of these fabulous people my colleagues. You may be familiar, in 2025, our team joined forces with our Paul Gauguin colleagues. So now all of us represent PONANT and Paul Gauguin cruises. With that, we have actually made our territories smaller to enable us more hands-on support for each and every one of you. So if you have questions about possibly who is your specific director, please reach out to me at the conclusion of today's webinar, and I am happy to connect you to get that regional support. With that, I always like to kick off my webinars with kind of what's the promotion, what's in it for you all, what's things top of mind to keep kind of front and center. We have our CLIA gift certificate opportunity. When you make your new bookings for 25 or for 26, complete this certificate and earn that additional gift card. For PONANT, we also currently have an ongoing 4+1 small group offer where you're able to earn a tour conductor credit just after 4 staterooms or suites on select voyages. Your guests benefit from an additional 10% savings off of the published bonus rate, and there is some flexibility with how you can earn that tour conductor credit. No financial commitment for at least the first 45 days. So I'll share with Johanna at the end of our webinar today a recap that will include what eligible sailings are possible for this. Normally, our group offerings are 8 to 9 staterooms, earn your TC, so this is a wonderful opportunity and a chance for you to possibly experience PONANT. On the Paul Gauguin side of our business, though today's webinar will really focus on PONANT, I do want to quickly highlight this new promotion that just started yesterday. This is an opportunity for your multi-gen families to fall in love with French Polynesia like never before. We are offering opportunities for the children to travel alongside your guests as long as they're the 3rd and 4th with airfare complimentary. Air does need to be booked through our Paul Gauguin Cruises team. You can scan that QR code to get a bit more information as well as customizable content that you can share via your marketing channels, social media posts, newsletters, and so much more. Just wanted to quickly highlight that. When it comes to the PONANT Explorations group, we are thrilled to welcome the Paul Gauguin into our arms. We've been working all together now for about 6 years, but it's really only been within the last 6 months that we've created a lot more synergy, particularly for our North American trade partners. Across our entire family now, we have 15 luxury vessels doing 400 different departures across 450 ports of call in all 7 continents. The Paul Gauguin, being in French Polynesia year-round, actually makes it our biggest destination. But we're here today to talk a little bit more about PONANT. I always like to start with our origin. Ponant was founded in 1988 by a group of French maritime sailors who were looking to create something different in the cruising space. This was at a time when the industry was focused on much, much larger ships, thinking huge atriums, flashy shows, casinos. They looked at it and said, we want to do something different. And they had fallen in love with themselves with smaller explorations to off the beaten path places. And they wanted to help others kind of fall in love with the world the same way, letting the destinations be our show or be the wow factor. Taking us to 2025, where we are a world leader in luxury expedition. Again, a fleet of 14 luxury expedition vessels, 400 different departures, 450 ports of call. But what does expedition mean? Expedition means exploration. With that, it's reaching places that other cruise ships simply cannot. We'll talk a bit today about not only each of our vessels, but what our French heritage and French touch means, some of our unique alliances, and then an emphasis on our ultra luxury product capable of reaching these far places like Le Commandant Charcot. Here you see pictures of Charcot not only at the geographic North Pole, but also at the pole of inaccessibility. Ponant is the sweet spot where adventure and luxury overlap or intersect. It's all our ambition to ensure that we're taking you safely to off the beaten path destinations, but making sure you're comfortable along the way. On board our modern and elegant fleet, you'll find luxurious creature comforts with a boutique feel, all implemented through our chic and understated elegance on board. We look to intertwine those natural elements and artistic touches, reflecting the richness of the destinations that we are visiting. As we go through today, I want you to start thinking of your clientele and who really might fit the bill for this modern day explorer that we're looking for. We typically find that our guests are high-end travelers who look to connect with the world, enjoy more purposeful and enriching travels, not just focused on themselves, but also considered of the greater good. We find our travelers are typically between 50 and 70 years old, with the average age being 62. About 70% are new to Ponant, 25 are new to cruising. One of my favorite things to encounter is when an advisor says, oh, I don't really sell cruises. And I'm like, perfect, because what I have for you is not your classic cruise. We also really value your solo traveler. About 20% of our guests on any given departure are singles. We'll talk a little bit more about the value for them later on. We find that our guests really are travelers, not just tourists. They are educated, affluent. They've seen a lot of this world already, and they're looking for those more authentic and immersive experiences to those harder to get to destinations. And they like the company of, like-minded travelers and appreciate those comforts along the way. As we think about those luxurious creature comforts, it's always good to touch on what is included. This is all-inclusive luxury travel. From your meals on board, gratuities, port taxes, and fees. We have open bar, not just coffee, juices, teas, and soft drinks, but also beer, wine, and spirits. Your guests can also enjoy 24-hour in-room dining, butler service in our suite categories, as well as unlimited Wi-Fi, not just per person or per stateroom, but across multiple devices. Our entire fleet utilizes Starlink connectivity, offering the best in global Wi-Fi. Beyond that, on our expeditions, we do include shore landings via Zodiac and one shore excursion in every port of call on every cruise. On your polar itineraries, we also offer a parka jacket on board for you to keep as a souvenir, as well as boots are on board to borrow. With our alliance with Smithsonian Journeys, we also include opportunities to travel with renowned experts, participate in curated shore excursions. We also include your transfers to and from the ship on embarkation and disembarkation. It's a big world out there. There's so many different destinations to go, and I'm thrilled to represent a company that can help your guests get to almost all of them. About 10% of our itineraries happen in the Arctic, 15% happen in the Antarctic, about 25% actually happen in the Mediterranean annually, with the Antarctic and Mediterranean being our most popular first-time destinations. I definitely like to kind of mention there's incredible value in those locations for your guest considerations. We also have opportunities to explore more remote places like the Oceanias or Australia's Kimberley, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea. Also, getting to the more northerly areas of the British Isles with Scotland and Ireland, or even farther Arctic, think Iceland and Greenland. You also find plenty of tropical expeditions in Central and South America, as well as in the Caribbean. Really, anywhere your guests may have an interest, Ponant can help them get there. And how do we get there? These 12 ultra-modern human-sized ships. I start with Le Ponant in our top left corner of this photo. You see this is our 3-mast sailing vessel and the icon of Ponant. This vessel was refurbished in 2021. We took it from 32 staterooms and suites down to just 16, creating a more elegant and intimate exploration for its discerning guests. Following that renovation, we were also the first sailing yacht to receive a Relais and Chateau label, emphasizing those luxurious creature comforts and incredible gastronomy on board. To our right, we have our sister ships. These are 4 vessels built between 2010 and 2015 with no more than 132 staterooms and suites, maximizing guest capacity to no more than 264 guests. These are polar class vessels, polar class 5, so we will use them in the Arctic and the Antarctic where we cap that capacity to just 200 guests. You'll also find these vessels in destinations like the Mediterranean, Australia's Kimberleys, the British Isles, and much more. From there, we took the idea of our sisters and we went even smaller to this lower right-hand photo, our Explorer ships. We have 6 of these built from 2018 to 2020, 100% private balconies, no more than 182 guests if it's at full capacity. Some unique features of this vessel, again, I'll come back to. And last but definitely not least, in our lowest left-hand photo, we have Le Commandant Charcot, the world's only luxury icebreaker capable of reaching the farthest reaches of our polar climates. Definitely more to share there. One thing I am most proud of as an employee of Ponant is our commitment to responsible, sustainable travel. This has been integral in our DNA since our inception, and we continue to lead in this space on an international scale. From things like eliminating single-use plastic to tracing all of our offloaded garbage and recycling, we utilize advanced wastewater treatments, ensuring our guests always have clean drinking water, either still or sparkling. We also provide reusable drinking bottles to all guests on board. We maintain a zero-impact landing protocol, making sure each of our itineraries goes through a rigorous environmental impact by our assessment team. All of these things ensure that we have a responsible, sustainable travel everywhere we go. We also have our Ponant Foundation focused on the peoples, poles, and oceans that we are visiting. A little bit of every booking goes back into that foundation. We're pleased to share that we were the first cruise line to achieve a Green Globe certification. Now our challenge will be to continue to maintain that going forward. And with that, I'm going to share a brief video about life on board, sure to inspire you. Wonderful. All right. When it comes to Ponant, size matters, especially when we think about our options with cruising. We know small ship cruising is the fastest growing segment in the cruise industry right now, with many new ships planned to come into the market over the next 3 years. That's where I like to highlight Ponant's history and legacy leading small ship travel. I've been doing this for over 30 years. Here is a great reason as to why small ships really make a difference. Here we have one of our vessels pulled into Old Town in Dubrovnik. We use a local tender. We get in the morning and allow guests the entire day to wander the city, participate in an excursion, really just kind of take in all of the wonders of Dubrovnik. Versus other cruise ships that maybe have to take your guests all the way out to the cruise port, 15, 20 minutes outside of the city. Then they're queuing up to get off the vessel, queuing to get out of the port, queuing to get to, Old Town Dubrovnik. They've probably been there now for almost an hour, 2 hours before they've even actually seen Old Town. With PONANT, we're able to bring them right there. We also don't have, port times that we're waiting for where we have to rush everyone back to the ship and get them out of there to get to, our next port of call or to let another ship in. Really emphasizes the difference of, what's available on a small ship. With PONANT comes our French heritage and the French touch. All of our cruises are bilingual unless they are a thematic English-specific departure, which I'll talk about. But you'll always find this emphasis of the French luxurious touch in everything that we do, from our, Henois champagne or our spa products presented by Sotheby's. In your bathrooms, you'll find diptyque products. We have a wonderful partnership with Gruyere Bordier for offering hand-rolled butters and cheeses. Time and time again, I have clients who come back and say, how do I secure that butter? I want it in my home. All of this kind of comes together to incorporate that luxurious touch that we do on board. With that, we also have a unique alliance with Alain Ducasse and the Ducasse Council. Alain Ducasse holds 21 Michelin stars across restaurants worldwide. Him and his team create our culinary offerings on board. Each of our chefs go through annual trainings to update their techniques in their gastronomy. This is some of my recent photos from my times on board. Happy to share, I've now crossed Antarctica off that bucket list. I was just there last week and it was absolutely incredible. There's something really special about enjoying paella fresh from the oven or stovetop while you're surrounded by icebergs. But you can see some of our other offerings, from caviar tastings in the afternoons to a mix of seafood on board. There's just a lot of variety to enhance the gastronomy that your guests can savor. Each and every one of our trips is led by our wonderful expedition team, typically encompassing 12 or more experts and leaders. They range in specialties from ornithology and geology to art or history, marine biology, glaciology, and so much more. These are bilingual experts able to help your guests understand the broader picture of the world that we're exploring through interpretation on shore, lectures or briefings every day on the ship, or even in the zodiacs or out on excursions. Some of our polar activities that we can highlight that we offer on board include zodiac cruises, looking for wildlife, offering hiking, kayaking, snowshoeing, and so much more. Again, we have unique alliances specifically tailored for our North American travelers that I want to spend a bit more time digging into today. We've been pleased to continue to nurture a valuable alliance with us and Smithsonian Journeys. Bookings for 25 and 26 are currently available. What makes these opportunities unique is your guests get to travel alongside these Smithsonian Journey experts and participate in lectures and discussions on board. But beyond that, these experts are curating excursions that they themselves are the subject matter experts in, that your guests get to participate. Again, we'll include those transfers on their arrival and departure. We also offer pre and post hotel packages to maximize your experience in the destination. But those excursions and opportunities are really what makes these itineraries so special. You could travel with Frederick Stonehouse in the Great Lakes of North America. He is a maritime historian who can share with you about World War II and how the Great Lakes kind of came to be as we know them today. Or travel with Gita Mehta in Japan. She is from the United States, but has spent her career living and working in Japan. She's currently a professor at who splits her time between Temple University as well as the University of Tokyo. She's written numerous books on Japanese architecture, gardening, living in Japan, and so much more. Or join Jim Preston, a renowned photographer, as he helps you explore some of our more remote places of our planet. These are just a few of the possible things available to your guests on these Smithsonian explorations. I've included just some snapshots of our various departures. We do about 35 of these annually. Again, these explorations are deeper dives than what most guests would typically think of. Imagine exploring the Alhambra in the evening when it's closed to the rest of the public, but you're with an arts and history specialist from Smithsonian Journeys. Or exploring a marine wildlife sanctuary, specifically for beluga whales off the coast of Greenland. Here is just a snapshot of our 26 itineraries as well. Then for any science lovers or those who, again, are really interested in understanding kind of the broader scope, we continue to have a fantastic relationship with the Explorers Club. Founded over 119 years ago, the Explorer Club includes individuals with vast interests from science to exploration, some who've made the most notable achievements in our scientific community today. This includes the likes of Jane Goodall, James Cameron, Neil Armstrong, and so much more. Founded in New York, there's currently 35 chapters worldwide. They support scientific expeditions in disciplines like glaciology, oceology, and geology. Again, Roald Amundsen, famous explorer, was also a member of this organization. But when it comes to exploring with PONANT, we are thrilled to welcome these Explorer Club members who have actually applied for grants to continue their scientific research on board the Commandant Charcot, utilizing our wet and dry lab on board. So again, they've actually applied to come and continue their research, but they invite your guests to come alongside them. So for your passengers' involvement, this is opportunities for lectures and Q&A sessions, learning opportunities in the lab, but they actually get to go out shoulder to shoulder with these experts and actually participate in the hard, independent science. So that could be pulling ice core samples out of the polar regions, looking at microbiology with a rover camera, understanding fluctuations in whale populations in different parts of our world. Again, just really unique opportunities and enrichment for your travelers. Similar to Smithsonian, just wanted to share a snapshot of some of these renowned experts. Diego Cardonosa is a shark scientist focused on conservation and understanding small shark fins and developing tools to fight the illegal trade of these endangered species. Cassandra Brooks is a professor from the University of Colorado Boulder who draws on diversity in many disciplines from marine science to environmental policy and leads research projects and things to better understand kind of our environmental problems facing the globe. And we have a snapshot of, again, some of these various departures available to our guests who are interested in traveling with these renowned experts. For any photo lovers, we also have our Photo Ambassador program. Opportunities to travel with 3 world-renowned world photographers aboard 9 different polar explorations with PONANT. These are a mix of people who've been traveling all over the world, from Cindy Miller Hopkins, who has notable recognition in Native American photography and heritage, or Sue Flood and Ian Dawson, who are from the UK, also have many notable achievements in their respective fields. What makes these opportunities unique is not just the incredible photos they take while they're traveling. Here are some from Cindy on multiple voyages, but also they're there to help your guests enhance their own photo taking skills. They offer workshops and lectures, tips and instructions either on excursion or even from the decks on how to capture the best photos. And you don't have to have the fanciest or nicest of DSLR cameras. Here's Ian Dawson giving a lecture on how to take a better photo with your smartphone. They're also socializing with your guests and dining with them throughout each of these adventures. With our Explorers Club program, we love to welcome your kids. We have about 15 departures annually in the Mediterranean in our summer months where your kids can participate in these Explorer Club opportunities. These are focused on, environment and sustainability, science and education, but offer full daily programming for the children on board so the guests can enjoy their programming as they would like. This is in partnership with the Maud Fontenoy Foundation under the French Ministry of National Education. Going to take a little bit to talk about our unique vessels, and then we'll talk about some itineraries and resources available to each of you. Again, I want to emphasize Le PONANT, the 3-mast sailing vessel and icon of PONANT. You'll find this vessel exploring the Mediterranean in our summer months, with unique opportunities like Croatia under sail, hitting some much smaller ports and areas that other vessels, even our sister ships, simply cannot do. Again, we have that unique label with Relais and Chateau that emphasizes not only our sustainability, but also those creature comforts, a luxurious sense that we enjoy. On our sister ships, you'll find, again, a multitude of destinations available, from the Norwegian fjords to the Great Austral Loop, including South Georgia and the Falklands. On board, you'll find many spacious public areas with lots of windows to bring in the natural light. Each of our vessels has its own kind of unique coloring on board in terms of its aesthetic. We also have our outdoor spaces where you can enjoy fresh cocktails in the sunshine. Our main lounge is typically where we'll congregate for evening entertainment and to prepare for our daily excursions. We also have a variety of dining options, including our a la carte restaurant or our buffet offerings, all included. On our Explorers, some unique features again to highlight: 100% private balconies on all of our staterooms and suites. We also have our trifold submersible marina. Unique to these 6 vessels, this actually enables for more expeditious embarkation and disembarkation. We can run 2 lines at one time, maximizing guest time in each destination. I've seen us lower this platform just into the water and create a swimming hole in the Caribbean, a very special activity that we offered. We've also raised this platform to be in line with that pool deck, and I've actually hosted concerts for our guests on board as well. Also unique to our Explorers is our Blue Eye Underwater Lounge. This is a one-of-a-kind immersive experience that connects your guests to the destination, but they don't have to get their hair wet. Those are 2 large portholes on both sides of this lounge space. Also unique, we have a hydrophone on the front of the ship recording sounds within a 3-kilometer radius. We feed that sound back through the lounge, so you will feel it reverberate. It is multi-sensory. You can be having your glass of champagne, sipping your bubbles, and all of a sudden a big school of fish will swim right by you, as demonstrated here in this video my colleague Erica shared on a recent trip to Honduras and Belize. Last but definitely not least, I'm going to take a little time to highlight the wonders of Le Commandant Charcot, the world's only luxury icebreaker, and by far the most impressive vessel that I personally have ever stepped foot on. Le Commandant Charcot can cut through ice floes up to 7 feet thick and is the only luxury vessel today capable of reaching the true North Pole and parts of Antarctica that other people just kind of dream of. These are your epic polar opportunities, from exploring emperor penguins in the Weddell Sea to reaching even the magnetic North Pole. We just spent our first season with this vessel icebreaking on the St. Lawrence River in the heart of the Boreal, and it's been incredible. Hopefully you've seen some information about it, but I'm going to go ahead and share one more video that showcases the wonders of Le Commandant Charcot. Wonderful. That is one of my favorite videos that we have. I get chills every time I've seen it, and I cannot wait to hopefully one day experience the North Pole for myself. When it comes to some of the characteristics of Le Commandant Charcot, this vessel has a capability of 245 guests at the most, with 123 staterooms and suites. However, in the polar regions, where it spends about 90% of its time, we do cap that capacity at only 200 guests. With 215 crew, you can see that that is a wonderful guest to crew ratio, one of the best in the industry. Throughout our staterooms and suites, you'll find a variety of options to satisfy your guests. Again, 100% private balconies on this vessel, no interior staterooms. Not only do we have our fabulous spa where you have access to a dry sauna as well as a snow room, we also have our 2 restaurants, one of which is actually handcrafted by Alain Ducasse himself, his only restaurant at sea, Nuna. This vessel is typically cruising at around 15 knots. It does have those 5 passenger decks, and it is an ice class 2, which enables us to get to these far reaches. And this vessel being released in 2021 makes it one of the newest currently out at sea. What else is unique about Le Commandant Charcot? Again, this has been the first French passenger ship to reach the geographic North Pole. It can be in 2 different extremes in less than 6 months. We were the first to cruise through the McClure Strait, an adventure into Pine Island Bay. We've also successfully completed the longest half circumference trip ever, and we were the first to reach the Pole of Inaccessibility as a French flag luxury vessel. But let's highlight those luxury touches just a little bit more. We have this emphasis of wellness and relaxation throughout the vessel. So not only can you enjoy some of those spa offerings that I've mentioned, you also have a full gymnasium. Our outdoor heated blue lagoon is reheated by recirculated engine heat. Nice little dip there in the north or in the south. We also have an indoor pool with a jet stream that guests can actually swim into, and these large windows that you can soak up the sun even in these remote polar places. Again, on board, you'll find incredibly well-crafted gastronomy. In Nuna, we feature, or also known as the Earth, a mix of French and international flavor and culinary techniques, as well as sampling fine wines from our onboard wine cellar. You can also enjoy a more casual atmosphere and indulge in Scylla. This is where you can have breakfast or buffet lunches and themed dinners. Throughout our staterooms and suites, again, you'll find some very plush accommodations, incredibly spacious guest rooms, big walk-in closets, big tubs as well. Our owner suite has the largest balcony on any cruise ship for guests. So again, some additional perks and amenities that to me really make this a 6-star luxury experience. In our common areas, you'll find our quieter observation lounge, great space to play a game, read a book, connect with your fellow travelers. In our main lounge areas, you can enjoy wonderfully delicious craft cocktails, connect as well with your expedition team members. This vessel also has our only 360-degree wraparound promenade, enabling guests to get their steps in or to make sure that you don't miss any wildlife regardless of where it might be around the ship. We also have a cigar lounge on board, and in our observation terrace off of that lounge, we do have 3 Swarovski optic telescopes that guests can use complimentary. Again, this is all about extreme polar region exploration. Opportunities to visit the North Pole in the summer months, get guests to Greenland and Svalbard much earlier in the season than most other companies can. In the winter months, where you've been exploring Scandinavia and the Baltics, hunting the Aurora Borealis. And then in our winter months, you'll typically find her either in the St. Lawrence River or down in Antarctica looking for emperor penguins or down into the Ross Ice Shelf. We offer exclusive activities available on Le Commandant Charcot, including kayaking, outings via Zodiac, or even the polar plunge, which I know a lot of people look to cross off in those Arctic areas. This is exclusive to Le Commandant Charcot that we offer that. We also offer opportunities for dog sledding, a very popular activity for our guests, particularly in Greenland and northern Canada. We also look to make ice landings whenever possible. There is something quite magnificent about stepping foot on a floating chunk of ice in the middle of the Arctic or Antarctic Ocean. It's a little eerie, but it's also very thrilling. And in some destinations, Le Commandant Charcot can get right into that pack ice and actually guess right out onto the ice. Each and every day is a new adventure on Le Commandant Charcot based on our sea conditions, weather, or the wildlife we may encounter. But again, those parka jackets are provided to keep you comfortable. Boots are available for guests on board as well. This is all about that more immersive exploration. I want to take the time to highlight some of our unique itineraries that I see particularly resonating with our North American travelers. But again, keep in mind, this is just the surface of what is a plethora of opportunities available to your guests with Ponant. I like to highlight this trans-Arctic quest for the two North Poles, possibly even a third if we can reach that pole of inaccessibility again. This is an opportunity not only to travel with members of the Explorers Club, but you'll also be joined with our photo ambassador, Cindy Miller-Hopkins. Very few people can say that they've actually been to the North Pole. So for your guests who want that exclusive, never been done before travels, these are those opportunities. With the Explorers Club as well, we have this exciting natural sanctuaries and Caribbean encounters in Belize and Honduras. I did a very similar itinerary to this in 2023 myself, and it was amazing. In Belize, you have one of the largest reef systems in the world, an opportunity to snorkel or scuba dive at the famous Blue Eye. This is the big cenote just off the coast. You'll get to travel with Jamal Gals, a conservation and research biologist who's been working to protect the manatees in the West Indian oceans and is excited to share his experience with our guests. For anyone interested in our Smithsonian Journeys travels, I wanted to quickly highlight one of our Mediterranean itineraries, again, calling out a fantastic price point when you think about all that's included, from transfers and daily curated excursions to all meals on board, less logistics for you as the advisor to have to manage. You don't have to worry about their guide showing up or their quality of English speaking. All Smithsonian trips, all programming on board is in English. So that again is a differentiator. Outside of our alliance with Smithsonian and the Explorers Club, we also have our Ponant Quintessential Collection, or 4 themed unique itineraries where we're bringing on lectures and performances from world-class lectures, and all of this programming is also in English. We've been hearing from our advisor partners for many years a desire to have more programs specifically designed for the North American English-speaking traveler, and we're thrilled to present those. We will actually have 6 of these itineraries in 2026 that are also available. On our Epicurean's Delights of Sicily and the Adriatic, you'll travel with 2 food and wine authors as well as a sommelier, do tastings on board as well as in various vineyards, visiting UNESCO World Heritage Sites. You'll also, on our World Affairs cruise of the Baltic, be joined by the past president of Poland, a Nobel laureate, a career ambassador, as well as an international news correspondent who'll be leading lectures and discussions in the Scandinavian countries while also visiting multiple UNESCO World Heritage Sites. For any of our culture or history buffs, I recommend our Confluence of Cultures, discovering the Iberian Peninsula of Spain and Portugal, traveling with renowned historians and writers, cultural authors as well. And then for our music lovers, we have our Symphony at Sea from Ireland and France. Again, great opportunity to explore some more remote, off the beaten path destinations and enjoy some stunning jazz music along the way. We know more and more luxury travelers are looking for those unique experiences. We will actually have 4 cruises in 2026, specifically for the eclipse that will happen kind of right off at Isafjorden and then move into the Mediterranean. This is one of the newest trips we just announced specifically for this solar eclipse that's happening. If you have any eclipse chasers, these are great opportunities. We also have another one that's happening in France and a third that's happening from Longyearbyen to Iceland, all of which still have some availability. I want to take a moment to also talk about our polar explorations. As I just mentioned, I just got off of one of our emblematic Antarctica itineraries last week, and I can confidently say Antarctica exceeded all expectations. We had fantastic weather. We had the Drake Lake crossing to and from Antarctica. This is just some of the incredible wildlife that we personally saw on this trip, from Gentoo, Adelie, and chinstrap penguins to a variety of seals. You have this molting elephant seal here in this lower left-hand photo, but we saw numerous crab eater seals, as well as leper seals just snoozing on floating chunks of ice. We had a rare opportunity to spot a pod of 20 orcas traveling through the Gerlache Strait right before sunset. Immaculate lighting, something that's pretty rare to see down in Antarctica. It was truly just a remarkable experience that I would recommend to any interested explorer. And again, this is like our Antarctica 101. We have other opportunities that also include South Georgia and the Falklands, Weddellsea with emperor penguins, and so much more. Just want to reiterate the value and opportunity for those, unique opportunities as well. Be one of the first to reach the geographic North Pole. We ran a similar itinerary to this past fall, and while cruising, we actually spotted a whale carcass that had been trapped in the sea ice right at the surface. From there, our team spotted 68 polar bears feeding on one whale carcass alone. We were the only ship to be in there to enjoy this. Truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and just kind of emphasizes your unique offerings available with PONANT. I want to mention some additional tools and resources for our advisor partners on the webinar today. You can find these thematic departures with Smithsonian Journeys, the Explorers Club, or even that quintessential collection via our website. Just go to Cruises and Destinations, select Themes, and you'll see the opportunities there. From there, you can kind of pick and choose based on time of year, destination, or a specific ship you'd want to travel on. PONANT does utilize dynamic pricing, so pricing is based on demand. Every voyage will start with a 30% off bonus savings. We really encourage your travelers to book early to secure the best price. You'll find on our website we'll always have our availability and pricing in USD, but it is best to book early. As a trip fills up, that PONANT bonus rate goes down. So if you see something that has like a 10% or only a 5% bonus, likely that ship is already 85 to 90% full. Now is the time to book it if those dates work for your guests. We are able to combine those bonus savings with other offers, including any consortia amenities or any other specific promos we may have. We also really look to value our repeat clients. Through our PONANT Yacht Club, the more your guests travel with us, the more they save and earn for future trips, including additional onboard credits, access to complimentary laundry on board, or even opportunities for Yacht Club member-only cruises or early embarkation. If you have very loyal travelers who are really specific to one line, wouldn't consider, please also note that we do have a loyalty status matching opportunity to other cruise lines on their first cruise with PONANT. So this is a great opportunity to take someone who's maybe been very loyal and have them give us a try. We'll match that status for that first cruise as best as we can to kind of enhance their offerings and hopefully win them over. I mentioned at the beginning about 20% of our travelers on any given departure are single or solo. We really value those single travelers. Currently, we have over 180 of our 400 departures that offer a no single supplement. That means your guest is able to get the entire stateroom or suite all to themselves for the same per person price. I know I talk to a lot of advisors who have groups of single ladies or groups of single guys who don't necessarily share, but are eager for these more exclusive, intimate experiences. Please consider PONANT for your solo travelers. I'll quickly reiterate some of our offers and then bring Joanna back on to answer any questions. Reminder for all of our CLIA partners, when you make your booking, please complete and return this certificate to us so you earn your gift card. For double occupancy, you do want a $100 gift card. For any single occupancies, you do get a $50 gift card. This is available for all 25 and 26 PONANT sailings through this year on any vessel. I'll remind you, we do still have this 4+1 offer, an additional 10% savings, flexible to or conductor credit. Please reach out to me if you have interest in these, and I'll connect you with your regional sales director who can support you in actually getting a group confirmed. And a reminder for anyone who's interested in offering French Polynesia as a multi-gen family destination, we are currently offering an opportunity for kids to fly and sail for free when they are the third or fourth in our guest stateroom on select 25 voyages. This is available starting yesterday through April 25th. You as the advisor also earn a $500 gift card per booking, again, as long as it's a triple or quad reservation. Air does need to be booked through our Paul Gauguin Cruises team, but you can scan that QR code to learn more. We also have our educational opportunities to become a PONANT Explorations expert. You can scan this QR code, and I also share the link with the email recap. But this is an opportunity to not only learn more about PONANT and our various explorations, but also help yourself retain and then promote our information so you can better sell it. You have access to a content library with images, videos, things that you're readily to distribute through your marketing channels, whether that's social media, newsletters, e-blasts. We've also streamlined this for you in a recent partnership with Approach Guides. So whether you're looking for the PONANT experience, you can scan that QR code here, get customized content that you can easily just put in your name, agency information, and then have it ready to go out to the channels that you feel best. We also have this for our thematic departures, whether that's the Quintessential Collection or Smithsonian Journeys and the Explorers Club, or specifically for Le Commandant Charcot, incomparable to anything else. I want to reiterate our sales team, your support here to help you in confirming bookings with PONANT or Paul Gauguin Cruises. Reach out to these folks via their email or phone, or again, reach out to me and I'm happy to connect you. With that, I'll say thank you for joining us today. Feel free to reach out to our customer care team to secure your reservations, log into our portals. Again, I can share that information with you. But thank you all for the opportunity to be here today and share a bit more about PONANT. Joanna, I'm happy to answer any questions that we may have.
Thank you so much, Nick. That was a ton of very, very helpful information. I'm sure a lot of our advisors on with us today will be reaching out to your team, will be reaching out to you directly to really just dive into PONANT fully. With some time here that we have left over, I do just want to hit some popular questions that many advisors do frequently ask but are very important. The first one for the clients that they're already starting to think of, right? Going through the different itineraries that you presented, if they have somebody who may have special accommodations, how much of a lead time does your team need to make sure that the onboarding process, any excursions that they want to participate in, are still accessible to them?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So our vessels are ADA compliant. We are able to, kind of manage most physical needs as well as extra guest needs. Obviously, the longer runway we can get for that, the better. Always recommend starting with your sales director. I've seen trips happen within a month of departure for guests who were maybe in a wheelchair. This is not something that our team is not familiar with. We have experience managing these things, but there's no hard and fast rule. There's nothing that says, oh, we have a specific deadline. So it's best, I would say, start with your sales director, kind of explain the needs of the guest, what trips they're interested in, and we're more than happy to assist you to work with our exploration team ahead of time to make sure that activities and such are possible or feasible for them.
Great, super helpful. And in the similar breath, could we just talk about, because I'm a big foodie, I know that a lot of clients, want to try the local cuisine. For food on board, Nick, if you could just kind of touch on accommodations as well, but any food allergies or food needs, dietary restrictions on board, how do we go about just making sure that we get our clients all set for dining on board?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, our team is very well versed in managing things like gluten-free allergies, dairy intolerances. The one thing that we probably run into issue or challenge with the most is unfortunately kosher diets, only just because we may not be able to provision kosher ingredients depending on where the ship is. I've seen us do it once in a while, more specifically like in our Mediterranean itineraries, where it's just a little bit more accessible for us. But I've even actually had a guest who recently traveled on La Ponant with their son. That's our 3-mast sailing vessel, and their son was celiac, and they said it was the best experience they've had with dietary restrictions for their son. A variety of options were available. Again, best to work with your director of sales in your region to ensure that as you're making your booking, those things are noted, that we can get them to the ship as soon as possible. But yes, as part of that gastronomic experience, we want to make sure everyone has a variety of things to enjoy or indulge in, so we can typically manage most dietary restrictions or food concerns.
Perfect. Thank you, Nick. And just switching gears here a little bit, For the PONANT training online that our attendees here can complete, do they get any special perks after completing it? Is there like an emblem they can put on their email so that they can show everybody, you know, I am the person for luxury expeditions?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me come back to this. So, with our PONANT Explorer program, you do become a PONANT Explorations expert. While we don't necessarily have like a signature emblem at this time, what this does unlock for you is the opportunity to access our 50% off travel advisor rates on select departures for you and a companion. We also allow or enable, once you've completed this program and you make your first booking within 4 months of completing the program, you do earn an additional $100 gift card as well. The training portal is a great way to, again, get more content and videos, ways to help you just promote us more easily as well. But I would say the gift card opportunity is probably the most advantageous benefit for those who complete it, as well as just having that designation as a PONANT Explorations expert.
Perfect. And Nick, I do just want to say special thank you to PONANT and your team for offering that extra bonus commission as well, on top of the gift card that you guys offer, so that our advisors, you know, really feel connected and supported by both CLIA and PONANT. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
And then just moving on here, I know that you mentioned the parka jacket, right, when they're going to the colder regions. Keeping on track with those types of itineraries to the Arctic or Antarctica or even to North Pole, could you give kind of a tips or best things to remember when advising the clients what to pack on board when sailing with PONANT?
Yeah, absolutely. Having freshly been out of Antarctica, I can speak to this anecdotally. I prep for polar explorations very similar to, say, like a skiing trip or any other kind of like winter activity. A lot of the same base layers that you would wear to go snowshoeing, Nordic skiing, or downhill skiing, or even tubing are sufficient for your polar explorations. Think, synthetic wicker wearing fabrics underneath, usually 1 to 2 layers. Every night during your pre-briefing, the expedition leader will give an estimation for the weather we expect the following day, including wind speed, anticipated temperature. And then the following morning before we go out for our excursion, they'll also remind you of, hey, maybe what's best to wear that day, whether that's if you need a neck gaiter or not for face coverings, if you want a heavier glove maybe versus a lighter glove, extra layers versus, maybe a little lighter wear. During my trip to Antarctica just now, we had anywhere from 28-degree Fahrenheit weather to 44-degree Fahrenheit weather, so I was really happy to have a variety of layering available. We definitely encourage you to bring waterproof pants. Columbia, North Face, a lot of those outfitter wear companies have a variety of options. We wore suspender snow pants for most of our excursions, but I also had a lighter pair of just waterproof pants for our warmer day that we encountered. Don't worry about footwear. Again, those boots are provided on board and are fantastic for really any conditions that you may encounter. Regardless of you're in the North or in the South Poles, you will typically encounter wet landings via Zodiac. So that's where those boots that basically come up to knee high are very valuable. You definitely want thick wool socks for underneath and in those boots. We also provide a packing recommendation list for these polar excursions. So PONANT will provide you as the advisor to share with your guests recommended packing. We do also have formal nights. I put that in quotes because it can be anywhere from, business casual up to, formal 3-piece suits that I've seen on board. Our European clientele tend to dress up a little bit more. Really, they just ask for no shorts and t-shirts or open-toed sandals in the dining rooms on these gala evenings. If that is no interest to your clients, though, they're always welcome to join dinner in the a la carte buffet option or do in-room dining if they don't want the formal gala dinners that are available, typically 2 per cruise. And then on our nights of 7 or more, we also have a white or white and black more formal night, but again, cocktail attire is more than appropriate. And again, we can troubleshoot any other more specific questions as your advisors have them.
Super, super helpful. And I'm going to ask the question that I always hear get asked as a follow-up. So those boots and the parka that are provided on board, are we able to keep them? Are our clients able to keep those?
Yeah, so the jackets are yours to keep as a souvenir. I have my parka just here in my closet right next to me. I look forward to wearing it for future winter conditions that I encounter them. The boots are just to borrow on board. They're bulky, they're heavy. Most guests wouldn't want to take them home with them anyway, but the jackets are a souvenir to keep.
And Nick, if they do choose to bring their own boots for whatever reason, they are able to do that and they can just pass on the onboard provided, correct?
That is correct. Yep. And those are both the jackets and the boots are distributed once your guests are on board. So I always recommend packing wise, just imagine that you're going to have a jacket to come back with. But if people have their own boots that they're most comfortable in, that's totally fine. A lot of guests will still bring their own like foot comforts or soles or things to put in those rental boots. So that's also a feasible option if they're concerned about foot or size or fit or comfort.
Perfect. And now I feel prepared, ready to go on my next Ponant exploration.
Wonderful.
And just to wrap up here, we do have a couple of minutes, but I do want to pass along the accolades that you're getting in the chat. They're saying great presentation, super helpful information. And Nick, I do just want to echo that sentiment. I have learned so much about Ponant, and thank you for putting that up because we do have a couple attendees asking for emails, so that's super helpful. But Nick, if you just want to wrap up with things that you want us to remember when talking about Ponant or how to qualify our clients when picking Ponant.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you again, everyone, for the kind words and just for your engagement and participation. I know you're busy. When it comes to Ponant, I always really boil it down to, again, that sweet spot where adventure and luxury intersect. There's a lot happening in the small ship cruising space. There is a lot of new players coming in touting expedition and exploration travel. That's when I mentioned Ponant's legacy and history. We have been doing this for over 30 years, and that goes a long way in ensuring that your guests have a wonderful time in these remote off the beaten path destinations where weather can change quickly. We're not just prepared for plans A, B, and C, but we have D, E, and F in our back pockets ready to go to ensure a wonderful experience for your clients, especially given the price point of a luxury product. Beyond that, it is really just about having that opportunity for incredible gastronomy, luxurious creature comforts in these remote destinations. I'm very confident in what Ponant can offer our guests. I think that's echoed by the fact that on any given cruise, up to 65% of the guests are repeat travelers. We're very confident once they get a taste of traveling with us, they're going to want to continue to explore the rest of the world. And us and our team here are happy to help you do that. I know any of my colleagues will happily jump on a three-way call to address any obstacles or concerns your guests may have, to answer any questions, but still paint you back as the true expert to kind of win over your client's trust. So we've got you. We would love to welcome your guests on board. Anything you need from us, please let us know. We're here to help you.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick, for your time this afternoon. Again, you have been great. You're always great when you're on here talking about Ponant. Thank you for sharing your passion about just being part of this Ponant family. So thank you so much to our attendees. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you on the next one.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, everyone. Look forward to being in touch. Have a great day.